I'm George Galloway, Member of Parliament, anti-war campaigner, and the presenter of Comment on Press TV. Every week at this time, I answer the best question that has been sent in to Ask Galloway, hashtag Ask Galloway. And Noor Hussein's question is the one that got the nod this week. Her question was this: is ISIS the result of the Arab Spring? And how much of a role did the West play in both? Well, 2 minutes is not enough time to fully adumbrate all my views on ISIS, on the Arab Spring, and on the Western role in both. But here's how I see it. The old order, much of which still persists in most of the Arab world, the old order could not persist. The decrepit, sclerotic, rotten dictatorships of the Arab world were bound to fall. When they started to fall, first in Tunisia and then in Egypt, Western countries who had been the main beneficiaries of the old order rushed to try and influence the outcome. They haven't given up and they haven't gone away. They sought to morph the Arab Spring in directions against targets that would be more useful for them. And the most gross of these is the one that we see being played out in Syria. They tried to overthrow the Syrian regime. They have completely failed to do so, but they have killed more than 200,000 people and torn apart the fabric of an ancient Arab country. And the old regime, in part, is back in Tunisia and back with a vengeance in Egypt. So the West is playing a big role and has done throughout the Arab Spring. As to ISIS, this springs out of a well of fanaticism and extremism that again was influenced by Western policy beginning in Afghanistan throughout the 1980s. It's true that there are many unanswered questions about the capacities of ISIS, and it may very well be that apart from weapons that they helped themselves to after they'd been delivered by Western benefactors to the so-called, I emphasize, so-called Syrian moderate opposition, and after they had taken a large stock of weapons from the Iraqi army that they defeated in the west and the north of the country, it may be that they have other benefactors too, just like Al-Qaeda and the phenomenon of this extremism generally. There are many unanswered questions. But I'm not one of those who believes in the conspiracy theory that ISIS is somehow the product of Zionism or the product of the United States or Britain. This is a genuine, authentic upsurge of utter, barbarous, hideous, head-chopping, throat-cutting, crucifying extremism. And it's the kind of extremism that is delighting the people who hate all the Muslims, whatever sect they belong to, and the kind of extremism that's bringing disaster to the Arab world. Thanks for that question, Noor Hussein. I'm George Galloway. Ask Galloway, hashtag Ask Galloway. I'll answer the best one again, God willing, next week.